up? It's Richie here with Week 11, Satisfying Football, Week 11 in college football season. These are the 3:30 games. Notre Dame, Boston College, Notre Dame had a really awesome, huge, big win against Clemson in double overtime, 47-40. Wonderful game. Ian Book, 310 passing, a touchdown, plus 67 rushing. Kyrie Williams, 140 rushing and 3 touchdowns. Javon McKinley, 5 catches, 102. They had 519 yards of offense, 3 turnovers, and a fumble return touchdown. Boston College had a close win against Syracuse, 16-13. Phil Jerkovic, 208 passing and a touchdown. David Bailey, 125 rushing there. They had 4 sacks, 2 turnovers. Notre Dame is riding high in Clemson. I think he may be an upset alert. Boston College has been pretty tough this year. They did have that big lead on Clemson. Maybe they can keep it close against Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame will end up pulling it out in the end. But that's a game to definitely keep an eye on for you bettors, I guess. All right, Ohio State and Maryland. Ohio State, they beat Rutgers 49-27. Justin Fields, 314 passing, 5 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 104 and a touchdown, 517 yards. Maryland has been looking really good, though. They beat Penn State 35-19. Talia Tagovailoa, 282 passing, 3 touchdowns. Raheem Jarrett, 5 catches, 144 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, it's 7 sacks, 3 turnovers, and a fumble return. If they can get after Justin Fields a lot, maybe they can pull off the upset. This could be pretty high scoring, though. But I'm going to go with Ohio State getting that last point in the end. All right, Texas A&M and Tennessee. A&M, they went all over South Carolina, 48-3. Kellen Mond, 224 passing, 4 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing. Isaiah Spiller, 131 rushing, 530 total yards. Defensively, only held South Carolina 150 yards of offense. Tennessee, they lost to Arkansas, 24-13. They were horrible. 3 quarterbacks combined, 11-21, 107, 2 picks. Really, their only saving grace was defensively at 4 sacks, and offense, Eric Gray ran for 123 and a touchdown. I don't think Tennessee's got a shot in this. I think A&M rolls again. All right, Rice. A few weeks ago, they beat Southern Miss 30-6. In that game, Mike Collins, 233 passing, 4 touchdowns. Yuma Otoviano, 111 rushing. Austin Trammell, 7 catches, 143 and 3 touchdowns. And Louisiana Tech, they beat UAB in a double overtime win a few weeks ago, 37-34. Aaron Allen, 191 passing, 2 touchdowns. Luke Anthony, 141 passing, a touchdown, a pick. Adrian Hardy, 7 catches, 101 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, had 3 turnovers in that game. This could go back and forth here, but I'll give Louisiana Tech a slight edge, but this really could go either way. All right, Texas State and Georgia Southern. Texas State, they lost to Appalachian State 38-17. Tyler Vitt, 205 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Jamil Jeter ran for 135. They did have 420 yards of offense, so they should be able to move it a little bit. Georgia Southern, they have the triple option. They won a close game against Troy, 20-13. Sherry Wirtz had a weird game. He was 12 of 13 for 85 yards, but his one incompletion was an interception, and it was a pick 6 at that. But he did add 50 rushing yards and a touchdown. Gerald Green ran for 109 and a touchdown. They ran for 326 yards. This is pretty much 2 different offenses. A triple option versus an air raid offense in Texas State. I think Georgia Southern this time, their triple option will win. All right, Memphis had a really close win against USF, 34-33. They were down 33-20 with about 3 minutes left. Brady White, 437 passing yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Sean Dyke, 7 catches, 147 and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Austin, 5 catches, 102 and 2 touchdowns. They had 535 total yards. Navy, they played a few weeks ago in a loss to SMU, 51-37. Tiger Goslin, 123 passing, 2 touchdowns there. Navy has a shot. If they can get their option going, keep Memphis off the field, maybe they can bleed this one away. But Memphis just doesn't seem to go away this year, like against UCF and against Navy. So I think Memphis will take this game. At Colorado and Stanford, Colorado had a really nice win in their opener against UCLA, 48-42. Sam Neuer, 257 passing and a touchdown, plus 64 rushing and a touchdown. Jarek Broussard kind of came out of nowhere, 187 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns there. They had 525 total yards. They forced 4 turnovers on defense. Stanford, they got killed by Oregon, 35-14. Jack West passed for 154. Austin Jones had a good game, and that was about it. 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. I think this will go Colorado again. I liked what I saw against them in UCLA. Stanford may not have. Maybe they can get it done with their running game and keep Colorado off the field, but it seems like Colorado should be able to score. All right. Louisville and Virginia. This game was supposed to be played last week and then got postponed, and they only moved it back. So Louisiana, they lost their game a few weeks ago against Virginia Tech, 42-35. Malik Cunningham, 350 passing, 3 touchdowns, but he had 3 interceptions. Hawkins ran for 129 and a touchdown. Des Fitzpatrick, 5 catches, 158 and a touchdown. They had 548 yards of offense, but they turned it over 3 times. Virginia, they beat North Carolina a few weeks ago, 44-41. Brendan Armstrong, 208 passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick, plus 66 rushing yards and a touchdown. Defensively had 5 sacks in that game. Charles Snowden had 4 of them alone. This game, I think, is going to go back and forth. Could be pretty high scoring. Could be kind of a lot of fun to watch. But I think that Louisville, in the end, will get the win. All right, Auburn, Mississippi State, that got postponed already. Hawaii, San Diego State. Hawaii had a nice comeback win against New Mexico. They were down 20-7. They won 39-33. Chevron Cordero finally got going. He had 410 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, plus 39 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Nick Martiner, 6 catches, 147 yards and a touchdown. They had 503 yards of offense, but they turned over 3 times. They cannot do that against a good San Diego State defense. San Diego State, they got upset by San Jose State, who is 3-0 right now. San Diego State lost 28-17. Carson Baker, 261 passing, but a pick. Gray Bell did run for 109 yards and a touchdown. Jesse Matthews, 6 catches, 139. They had 3 turnovers themselves. They can't do that against what looks to be could be a potential explosive Hawaii offense. Oh man! So this game, Hawaii and San Jose State, I think it will be in San Diego State. Yeah, it'll be there. Hawaii doesn't normally do very good traveling, so I'll give an edge to the defense with San Diego State. They've had the most interceptions in the country since 2015. Hawaii still likes to pass it around a bit, so I'll give San Diego State a slight edge there. All right, Baylor and Texas Tech. Baylor, they lost to Iowa State 38-31. Charlie Brewer, 295 passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Defensively, they forced 4 turnovers and had a pick 6. Texas Tech, they lost to TCU 34-18. Henry Columbia, 234 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. This kind of could go either way, but I think even though I think Baylor's record is a little bit worse, I think Baylor may be a better overall team, so I'll go Baylor. All right, Alabama and LSU, I don't think this will be close. Alabama, they beat Mississippi State a couple of weeks ago, 41-0. Mac Jones, 291 passing, 4 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 119 rushing. Devontae Smith, 11 catches, 203 yards, and 4 touchdowns. They had a pick 6 in that game. LSU got drubbed by Auburn, 48-11. Both their quarterbacks not great. They only were held to 32 rushing yards. I think Bama wins this in a landslide. And you got Southern Miss in Western Kentucky. USM, they struggled but beat Northern Alabama 24-13. Trey Lowe, 100 passing yards, 2 picks, not very good. 31 rushing yards. Frank Gore Jr. ran for 103 yards himself. They were actually outgained by a lot, but they forced 4 turnovers and were able to win. Whereas Western Kentucky, they looked really bad against Florida Atlantic, but they only lost by 4 in a really low-scoring game. They lost 10-6. Pilgrim, 19-39, 163 yards. They did have 4 sacks though in that game. This could go either way. I'm not sure if Jack Abraham is going to play for USM, but USM has shown the potential, at least with their scheme, to put up some points at times. Western Kentucky has shown they can't do that, at least not this season. So I'm going to go Southern Miss there in the end. Nevada, New Mexico. Nevada had a nice win against Utah State. 34-9. Carson Strong, 411 passing, 3 touchdowns. Toa Tawa, 107 rushing yards and a touchdown. Romeo Dubes, 7 catches, 137 yards, 3 touchdowns at 542 total yards. New Mexico, they had a nice game against Hawaii, even though they lost. They were up 20-7. They lost 39-33. Tavaka Tuioti, 181 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, plus 71 rushing. They did run for 279 yards. They did put up 499 yards of offense and force 3 turnovers. Potentially, they could do that. If they can run on Nevada and keep that offense off the field and force some turnovers, maybe they can get a victory. I'm going to go with Nevada, though. Nevada's 3-0, but watch out, possible upset there, but I'll go Nevada to make it 4-0. All right, then another game. Actually, this will be early on in 3:30 games. USC and Arizona. USC had an awesome game against Arizona State. It was a fun game to watch back and forth. They won on a touchdown on a 4th and 9 with like a minute left. They beat it 28-27. Keaton Silva's 3-1 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Drake London, 8 catches, 125 and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 100 yards. They had 556 yards of offense. They had 4 turnovers, though. They cannot do that against anybody else, especially maybe they can get away with it with Arizona though. This is Arizona's first game. They're coming up. They lost a lot of people last season. They were 4-8. Grant Gunnell was coming back at quarterback. He was okay in his limited time. 1239 passing, 9 touchdowns and a pick. They have a grad transfer from Oregon, but that's about it. I do expect though USC to get this, and maybe they should be a favorite for the Pac-12. So those are my picks for 3:30. Check out my other ones for prime time and my noon games. Peace.